the story of Warzone 2. For how big this game is, not too many people actually know what's going on behind the scenes. Before we dive into details, we need to clear up a few things about the different factions that are involved in the lore. Let's start with Shadow Company. Shadow Company is a private military group overseen by General Shepard, a U.S. Army officer who wants to fight for his country. However, Shepard gets caught up in an illegal arms trade while delivering missiles to Iran at the end of Modern Warfare 2. He tried to cover up his actions, but the counterterrorism unit Task Force 141 began to uncover the truth. The second faction is the Task Force 141, who was under Shepard's control, until CIA Station Chief Kate Laswell took over and assigned new missions to the team, which consist of Price, Soap, Gaz, and Ghost, all our favorites. One of these missions was to track down Vladimir Makarov, a Russian terrorist leader who was dealing in Al-Mazrah, a city in the Middle East. Al-Mazrah is also the target of another faction, Al-Qatala, a radical terrorist group that wants to use nuclear weapons stored in a secret facility under the Oasis, a small cluster of ruins in the northwestern part of the map. The final faction is the Coney Group, which is led by Makarov himself. The Coney Group is an ultranationalist and anarchist organization that is involved in various crimes and conflicts around the world. The Coney Group is trying to launch an intercontinental ballistic missile that can cause a global catastrophe. The Coney Group is also producing chemical weapons in a hidden facility in Al-Mazrah. Now let's see how Warzone 2 begins. The game starts with Shadow Company infiltrating Al-Mazrah for a covert mission. They are looking for Shadow Company internal documents, which contain sensitive information about their activities and objectives. They are working with Task Force 141 and the other allies to secure the documents to stop Makarov's evil plan. However, they face a lot of resistance from the Coney Group, who have occupied the Satik Cave complex and other strategic locations in Al-Mazrah. While this is going on, the Coney Group leaves Al-Mazrah for Ashika Island, a Japanese island where they have another secret base. On Ashika Island, there is a hidden building under Suki Castle that is a key to producing chemical weapons. This place is called Building 21. We will focus on Shadow Team and Task Force 141, two elite units that have different goals and motivation. Shadow Team is looking for Shadow Team internal documents, which contain sensitive information about their operations, contracts, personnel, and finances. Building 21 is also where the Coney Group is producing chemical weapons and preparing to launch an intercontinental ballistic missile. However, Shadow Team is not the only one who is after Makarov and his secret. Task Force 141 infiltrates Building 21 to stop the Coney Group from launching the missile that can cause a global catastrophe. Task Force 141 is risking their lives to save the world from Makarov's evil plans, and this is where Shadow Team and Task Force 141 start to differ greatly. While Task Force 141 is trying to stop Makarov, Shadow Team is trying to hide their own secrets as well as take weapons and secrets with them to sell for profit. This leads to a conflict between the two units that will have serious consequences for both sides. We then get to meet the Los Alamos Cartel, a Mexican drug cartel led by Valeria Garza, a ruthless and charismatic woman who has a personal vendetta against the coalition forces. Valeria was captured by the Mexican Special Forces Squad Las Vasquez, led by her former comrade Alejandro Vargas, who betrayed her and joined the coalition. Valeria was imprisoned for several months, but she managed to escape and reunite with her loyal followers. She then moved to her Operation Al-Mazrah, where she saw an opportunity to expand her influence and power. Alejandro Vargas is the leader of Los Vaqueros, a Mexican Special Forces squad that works for the coalition. Alejandro is a former member of the Los Alamos cartel, but he turned against them and joined the coalition after witnessing Valeria's cruelty and corruption. Alejandro is determined to stop Valeria and bring her to justice. Alejandro is requested by CIA Station Chief Kate Laswell to infiltrate Al-Mazrah and apprehend Valeria. He agrees to do so, but he also has his own motives. He wants to find out the truth about his past and his connection to Valeria. Alejandro is assisted by other members of Los Vaqueros, as well as Task Force 141 and other allies. Alejandro faces a lot of challenges from the Los Alamos cartel, who have taken over several locations in Al Mazrah, such as the Oasis and the Satik Cave Complex. While this is going on, another faction enters the scene, the Peacekeepers. The Peacekeepers are a mysterious special forces group that claims to be fighting for peace and justice. They appear in Vandal, a city in the Netherlands, where they seized control of the city following a terrorist attack that killed hundreds of civilians and soldiers. The terrorist attack in Vandal was actually orchestrated by the COD group, who used the truck to deliver a large amount of chemical agents to the city center, where they detonated it and released a toxic cloud. The chemical attack in Vandal was also a diversion to distract the coalition forces from the missile launch site at Suki Castle on Ashika Island. The COD group is trying to launch an intercontinental ballistic missile that could cause a global catastrophe. Laswell establishes contact with the Black Moss organization, a group of hackers and activists that oppose the COD group and other evil forces. Laswell partners with them in order to investigate the Peacekeepers and learn their true intentions. They soon discover that the Peacekeepers are actually a Russian PMC known as the COD group, and they are working for Makarov. The Peacekeepers use Vandal as a base operations and testing ground for their chemical weapons. They are also trying to find and capture any survivor of the attack who may have valuable information or resistance potential. The Urzikstan Liberation Force, or ULF, is a rebel group that fights for the freedom of Urzikstan, a fictional country in the Middle East that has been under the oppression of the Russian army and the Al-Qaeda terrorist group. The ULF is led by Farah Karim and Alex Keller, two brave and charismatic leaders who have a history with Task Force 141 and the coalition forces. Farah and Alex meet with Shadow Company Commander Philip Graves, who had faked his death since his last encounter with Task Force 141 in Mexico. Graves proposes an alliance between the Shadows and the ULF in order to prevent an invasion in Al Mazrah from the COD group. Farah and Alex agree to work with Graves. They also have their own agenda. They want to find and rescue their friend Adir Karim, who was captured by Makarov and tortured for information about a mysterious device that is hidden in Al Mazrah. Graves, under the command of General Shepard, leads an assault on the COD-occupied Zaya Observatory in Al Mazrah as part of the operation. Rogue Arsenal. The Zaya Observatory is a strategic location that overlooks the city and has a powerful telescope that can track the movements of the coalition forces. Graves and his team use missile launchers to destroy the observatory and clear the way for their allies. After destroying the observatory, Shadow Company locates an underground weapons facility containing chemical weaponry. They begin extracting gas canisters, but are forced to exfil when the tunnel begins collapsing. However, per the orders of Makarov, COD operatives masquerading as Shadow soldiers manage to infiltrate the ranks and hijack the planes carrying the gas shipment, rendering the operation a failure. Now this is the end of Season 5, in the beginning, the story of Warzone 2 that most people don't know about. If you enjoyed and learned anything from this video, please like and subscribe. See you out on the battlefield.